Welcome to Link by Golf. I'm your host Ross McGuire. In this episode, I'm joined by Kenny Monaghan, PGA professional at Stirling Golf Club and the new owner of Strathclyde Park Family Golf Centre. From coaching players at every level to growing the game through his new venture, Kenny's passion for golf runs deep. We'll hear about his journey, his vision for the future, and what it takes to build a successful golf business. Let's hear from Kenny. Welcome to the pod, Kenny Monaghan. How you doing, Kenny? Great to see you.
I'm brilliant, thanks Ross. Thank you very much for having me on it.
No problem at all. And the podcast starts very simple. Kenny, where are you from and how did you get into golf?
Okay, so I'm originally from Airdrie. I started playing golf with my parents around about the age of about 7, 8, roughly. Hated it at first, actually. My mum used to drag me up there all the time. I very quickly realised, maybe 11, 12, that I had 2 older brothers that I was determined to beat. So that kind of was one of the main motivators for me. And really from that age, I kind of kicked on and started going.
Brilliant.
Up to that point, yep, it was maybe a break.
And you played at Airdrie all through your junior time, did you?
Yeah, I started off there up to about the age of 17, roughly, something like that, 18. Moved over to actually join the PGA when I was I moved over to Bothwell Castle for a period, joined the PGA, and started working at Bothwell Castle round about 19, which is quite young, and gave up my membership at Airdrie then at that point. Don't think I actually even became a senior member there.
Wow. And then before jumping into the pro side then, what took you into being a professional golfer? What was the progress like from a young age and how did you get through your teens with the game?
Yeah, so I was fascinated by the club pro job, to be honest with you. When I was young, I'd kind of get caught up in the magic of it all. There's no magic now, having done it for 20 odd years, but it was very much, it did appeal to me very early on. Playing golf, making a career out of it, coaching part, running your own business, all of it I kind of quite liked. The opportunity came at the time I was working, and I'm still very good friends with Alan McCloskey. He was a bit of a mentor of mine at Bothwell Castle, and an opportunity came up to start working with him. Around the same time, I met another golf pro, Fraser McLaughlin, who was from the same sort of area. Fraser was a very good amateur golfer who was maybe 6 or 7 years older than me. He won't like me saying that. Maybe not, maybe 4 years older than me. But he was then looking to start a career in the PGA at the same time, and it just kind of all started to make sense for me that maybe it was good to do it with someone else. It was where I saw my future, and I was quite keen to get into it. So me, him, Alan all worked together.
Yeah, and you said Alan was a bit of a mentor. Were you getting coaching from Alan before you then turned professional? Was that how you knew?
Alan gave me my first lesson. He was a club pro at Airdrie when I was about 4 or 5. Me and my mum together. It was more a lesson for her, but I was going along. And we met up just before Christmas there. We still keep in touch a lot. And even now, later in our lives, sometimes players that we work with, we'll both work with them at the same time. I'm sure we'll come in later. I do a lot of putting work. Alan does a lot of long game work. We have players that we kind of bounce ideas off back and forward. So I still see him all the time.
Brilliant. And then you mentioned Bothwell Castle.
Much better golfer than him. If he's listening, I'm much better golfer
than him. Brilliant. And Bothwell Castle, that's a great golf course, lovely setup. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that experience there.
Bothwell was brilliant for me. Alan was doing really well as a coach. He had a lot of full-time golfers, golf professionals kicking about. It's a great place to learn. But as a club, very, very busy members club, good affluent area, nice course. We went through the good big fire, as we now joke about it. The clubhouse got burnt down when we were there. They got a nice new facilities out it, and they redesigned the course in a way that benefited members and everything. It was brilliant. I spent about 8 or 9 years there through my whole PGA, and then started still competing a bit, coaching a bit, and working a wee bit in the shop. I was balancing my time, but I loved it. It's still got a place that I know a lot of people, and a lot of people still keep in touch with from that.
Brilliant. And then you mentioned you were there 9 years, but you moved on to Kingsbarns. So how did that opportunity come up?
Yeah, so by the kind of latter stages of my time at Bothwell, I was very much into building a career rather than a giving up kind of playing. I realised that wasn't going anywhere, and I started to think about what I needed to do to make my CV look a bit better, get some more experience. So Kingsbarns came up. I had a great opportunity with Alan Purdy, an ex Bothwell Castle employee as well, to go and do some seasonal work up there in the pro shop. And I had at the time already arranged to go out to Dubai later that year, so it kind of all worked in perfect for me. Kingsbarns, as we know, opens for the season. Dubai season tends to kick off in September, October time, so all just one led into another. But yeah, Kingsbarns was amazing, albeit short. Dubai is where it really kind of kicked off for me.
Yeah, and I was going to say, for some of the folks listening that maybe not had the opportunity to play Kingsbarns, I'd love you to talk about the course a little bit as well, and what people would experience when they get there.
It's mind-blowing. Working there early in the morning, late at night, just some of the setting's incredible. But it was the first time we really saw the Mad Americans coming over for that once in a lifetime golf trip to the Holy Grail of golf. And now very much a resort that they have to put on their bucket list. But we saw them coming in and out and just absolutely blown away by it. What a place. Absolutely love it. Definitely one that you need to go and visit.
Yeah,
incredible place.
Am I right in saying, is it the 12th hole's the par 5 up into the corner, and it's pretty much like the 18th at Pebble Beach?
That's right. 100, maybe 110 yard long green, something like that. So it can play drastically different depending on a front back pin and a into headwind or downwind, vice versa day. A cracker, a couple of holes later, you get par 3 that goes the opposite direction but over the same water.
Yeah.
Spectacular views.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you mentioned as well you moved to Dubai. So what was the calling in Dubai for you?
Yeah, so Dubai Creek, got the opportunity to go out there sort of 2009. My boss at the time was a guy called Stephen Hubner, from Scotland as well. Stephen was a huge influence in my career. But that was where it really, I feel like it all kicked off to me there, really getting a international experience at a top, not that Kingsbarns isn't, but a very busy, world-class golfing destination. But treated very much like a golf pro. I was there for my experience and what we could offer to international guests, from serious golfers right down to complete beginners, and a bit of everything in between. It was without doubt the best time of my life. I had 5 years, something like that, 5.5 years there, with the best group of golf pros. There was 8 or 9 of us, 6, 7 Scottish guys, a crazy Frenchman. I'll definitely send this on to him. And we get a great opportunity all to learn from each other and develop as golf pros, but also get like first true access to launch monitors, camera coaching systems, beautiful facilities to work on all your game, just develop as a coach. And Dubai, as we all know, hasn't stopped there. It just keeps reinvesting and keeps coming back bigger and better and stronger. An amazing place, incredible place, and a brilliant time in my life.
Yeah, and I mean, I've played the night golf at, is it the Faldo course at Emirates? Is the one that's the night golf? What an experience that was. It was awesome. Absolutely brilliant. Playing at night time.
So I worked for a company called Dubai Golf. They owned Dubai Creek at that time, Emirates Golf Club and Jumeirah Golf Estates. They've now branched out. They do a lot of operational stuff in various other clubs up and down from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. They were the kind of pioneers of golf in that area at the time. And yeah, Faldo course was one under that umbrella. But was designed with the idea of play in the dark. It plays during the day, but it was the type of grass. Even there, the education side for me, the type of grass, how they operate it, next door they have the Majlis course that we all know, hosts the Dubai Desert Classic. They prepare that in a different way for world class golf tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely.
A great experience, isn't it? Not so good if your drives are a bit wild though and they go outside the floodlights.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you're not sure what's out in the dark. You're like, I'm not sure I fancy going out there and seeing what's happening. But the other thing I was going to say with Dubai, that obviously the courses are great and everything, but I was lucky enough to be there one time for a race to Dubai finish, went up to Jumeirah, and it was a free ticket. They actually, at the time, they didn't charge you to get in, but what an experience that is. You get so close to the players, the course is phenomenal. It's an amazing setup at Jumeirah as well.
Yeah, so I mean that went through a lot of changes now as the kind of finished article as it was originally designed. But in my period there, the houses weren't even filled. It was a kind of up in the middle of nowhere area. The whole city is developing and moving up towards the event. It's amazing. Depending on when you went, it used to the Arab weekend was Friday, Saturday, and I used to get a Sunday off. And the tournament finished on a Sunday. There could be a couple of thousand people there, which is mental when you think about it, because you get the top 60 players in Europe at the time. Everybody's away back to work, and you just get to walk and watch these players so close. Go to the Open, you might get 5,000 on a hole, following one group. So, brilliant experience. I think it's still free to this day.
Oh, wow.
So definitely developing the golf in that whole region. I'm pretty sure it's still free.
Yeah, and the hole that will stick in my mind forever was it was the 10th, and I was watching McIlroy's group with Stenson and Richard Sterney, and I got to get right behind the tee at 10 and watch Stenson and McIlroy just smash off the tee. It was unbelievable seeing them from such a close-up proximity. It was incredible seeing them.
Yeah, they're half decent, aren't they?
Aye, decent. Aye, Richard Sterney wasn't too impressed because, first of all, Stenson put about 50 past him with his 3-wood, and then Rory had about 100 past him. It was outrageous. He virtually drove the green. The hole's about 460. It was unbelievable how far he had it down that hole.
If you've ever played it, it was too hard for me. All the bunkers are so well positioned. The fairways are incredible. The topography, the design, brilliant. Rory's got the ability though to carry most of the trouble off the tee, and that's why he does so well there. I think it's the difference between him wedging it in and say Stenson hitting 3-wood and having to hit 6-iron in.
Yeah, exactly.
He does so well there. So not the same game of golf that I play.
No, definitely not for me. But then, Kenny, the call of home must have been pretty strong, and you moved back to Scotland and into Linlithgow Golf Club.
Yep, so I still argue with my wife weekly about this. I never really wanted to come back, but it was the right time. My daughter was born out there, my son was on his way. Dubai was incredible for us, and it was just the right time to kind of come back. We started discussing it, and I'm a huge believer in timing's everything.
Yeah.
We started talking about it, and literally that day or the next day, a job advert had come up. I wasn't even looking at jobs, and within about 3 weeks I had it.
Wow.
And handed my notice in, and within another 6 weeks we were on a plane coming home. I came back on a Sunday and started working on Monday at Linlithgow. I just had it was about January, February time. I was trying to hold it back as long as I could to get the really bad weather out of the way.
I bet you.
They wanted me to start the 1st of January, and I kind of pushed it back to that. But yeah, great. It's funny, like, and I know you might come to this later, but it was never really a role I wanted to ever do. And through my career, I wanted it. I was fascinated by it as a really small kid. Then not so much as I was a golf pro, and then kind of came back to it. And in Scotland, there's not many other opportunities other than the traditional club pro.
Yep.
But this was a great insight for me. I mean, I hadn't really, never retailed for myself, but I hadn't retailed in 7 or 8 years by that point, from Kingsbarns to Dubai time. So it was definitely a big eye opener. getting into the whole golf operations side I was comfortable with, but the retail side not so much.
Yeah.
And here I am, whatever it is, 10 years later, still doing it. So
Absolutely. And from there you moved to Stirling Golf Club, where
yeah,
you're still based.
yep. So 7 years and 1 month, almost to the day. I've been here at Stirling. I absolutely love it. It was a brilliant opportunity for me at that time. I think it has been probably the best career decision I've made, because we went through a full stage of refurbishment, development, improvements that's only seen huge gains for the members and the club itself. We've gone from not struggling to get members, but we've now got a waiting list, for example, that's been in place for 6 out of those 7 years. We built a unbelievable practice academy that wasn't there. We had a practice ground that was like most, I suppose. It was just a field that was kind of maintained a wee bit. We've got a 6 full academy course there, 2 short game areas, awesome. A putting green.
Brilliant.
So I was involved in that. We refurbed the shop. We put in a swing studio. We introduced junior academies, ladies coaching groups. The knock-on effect of that is the ladies went up, 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 up. So it was brilliant to be a part of that team that was kind of delivering that and bringing that. And I think the members appreciate that. I think they see that as well, that all of these jobs that we do as a club pro help drive the club. There might be some personal gains, but there's definitely a club gain that's there as well. So if we can all support each other, then it works for everyone.
Yeah, and I must admit, I've only played Stirling one time, and I loved it. But, we just talked about Kings Barnes, and you get the Americans coming over. Imagine you took them to Stirling to play, and you're like, oh yeah, it's just a castle up there. It's pretty nice. I mean, be blown away. And yet,
I joke about it all the time.
You go around the golf course, and you're like, aye,
take it for granted.
There's another castle. Don't even
there used to be
pay attention.
There used to be one of these seaplanes landed at Dubai Creek. So there's a creek that runs adjacent to the 17th and 18th fairway. Uh-huh. And my first few years there, and my first week there, I watched this seaplane taking off and landing. Like, that is incredible. And then by the end of my 6 years, I was raging that it was landing in my backswing and stuff like that. I'd be shouting at it. When I came to Stirling then, and I mean, there's 2 or 3 magical points on the course that the viewing is incredible.
Absolutely.
And I keep saying, just never take it for granted. If it was a big golf resort, they'd be charging £500 a round for that view. Exactly. You get it on a nice night, but the weather's nice. It's spectacular. You go out to sort of 9th green, 10th tee. You can see everything from Ben Lomond to the castle. It's an absolutely stunning parkland golf course that we fortunately piggyback of that castle, as we do get a lot of these international guests that come in. They go up the castle, they see it, and they kind of want to come down and play the golf course. So it's a special place.
Absolutely. And I'd love you to talk, Kenny. We haven't even talked about your coaching, but I'd love to talk about some of the players that you've coached, and then your own coaching philosophy around. And from what I understand, you're a bit of an expert with the putting as well. So I'd love you to get into some of those aspects.
Expert, I'm not sure. I certainly, when I'm putting myself, I'm the most proficient, let's say. Most of us, I mean, my career, I just did try and play. Like, I think what gets it into all of us into the game. See how far that can go. I suppose a lot of people have the dream that, right, if I can play, and then if I'm not playing, I can coach a bit. You're never really committing fully to one, I don't think. And again, round about that time of going to Dubai, 2008, 2009, I was a bit like, right, I really want to start trying to get into this. I'm a huge believer. I still do it every year, invest in myself and training, variety of training courses, but putting was always one I felt as though I was never really that great at doing myself. So there was a kind of, I'm going to go down this avenue, it'll help me play a bit better. But I kind of felt as though there was a bit of an opportunity for, let's call it my USP. And There's a golf pro in Scotland, a guy called Kevin Stables. Kevin always was going to make somebody drive from a business point of view. He was going to make somebody drive past 15 other golf coaches to come. What's the separates you from every other PGA pro that's up there? And that stuck in my head. I was enjoying it, and I was investing more in it, and I was learning more in it, and it just kind of grew arms and legs a wee bit. I love it. I absolutely love coaching. I do it all the time now, just with everything else that's going on. But I particularly love the putting part because it's new. Most of the time, stuff that we talk about, guys coming back. I get more positive feedback from that than any other lessons I ever give.
Yeah.
Normally because they haven't heard it. It's something different to what they've thought or heard before, or particularly aim point. Aim point is a green reading process that I'm certified in. I think there's 3 of us in Scotland that do this. So a lot of people come round about the country to come to this. They've never heard it. They kind of maybe seen it on the television. Those lessons in particular I just absolutely love. There's so many gains to be had from it, but it's so refreshing to see someone's reaction when they go, God, that's much easier than I thought, much simpler than I thought, and I'd never bloody heard it before. So yeah, I love it. I love it. That go back to your original question. I still do. I still stand in a range and coach people. I still introduce golf to golfers. Maybe a traditional swing. I still at times coach golf professionals how to do full game, pitching, swing, but most of my coaching is definitely in the putting area. Yeah.
And what about some of the players? Are you able to mention some names that you've worked with in the past, even as well?
Yeah, so I mean, I've worked with a number of different golf pros probably over the years, sort of 60, 70 golf pros, I would guess. That's taken me from European Tour events to the Open on a coaching level, and yeah, some of the bigger names, I suppose, with guys like Stephen Gallagher. Stephen's obviously a legend of the Scottish game. Still do a bit of work with Stephen. In fact, I'm down to London with him next week. Down to Woburn, Titleist facility down there, and a Scotty Cameron thing that we're going to do together.
Awesome.
So yeah, but there's lots of very, very good golfers in Scotland, all trying to make their way towards the top level. As we all know, there's only a small percentage make it. If I can help them in a tiny, tiny wee bit in a particular area, then brilliant, great. I get so much fun out of it.
Yeah, and I was also going to ask you about just technology in the game. So you've touched on the putting part there, and I'm guessing you're using technology as well as obviously your eyes and all your experience. But from a sort of hitting point of view, what have you seen from launch monitors and how they've changed your coaching over the years as well?
Launch monitors are a huge part of the game. They are now in the game. They are very much so in the game. The coach is able to base. I use my. I've owned every launch monitor you can imagine. I do regularly say to people, it's more for the players' benefit than mine. It just really backs up what we learned back in the day. So right before this call, and by the way, I should apologise. There's loads of banging going on here. I'm sitting in the clubhouse at Stirling, and
no, it's
one
fine.
of the locker room doors keeps banging. But I was coaching 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, whatever it was there, using a bit of a Sam Putt Lab, it's called, measuring a club face aim on a putter for a player in 1 and 2 degree changes. Now, no naked eye in the world could take that or see that and measure it. So, to give you some context, a player sitting 10 foot away, they've got less than a 1 degree tolerance in their face aim to determine whether they hold that putt or not. So 1 degree is next to nothing. We have to sometimes use equipment or measuring tools, devices, because that player doesn't see that. They think they're aiming straight as an arrow, don't they?
Yeah.
So it maybe just backs up what you're trying to get across. Maybe a wee bit of an eye opener. They might take it positively or negatively, but it kind of helps shape the way we're then going to go with that session or how they might go forward. You could be the best green reader in the world and amazing at controlling your pace and a variety of different greens, but if you aim somewhere different from where you think you are, it's never going to go in.
No, definitely not.
And vice versa. You could be brilliant at aim, guy. You could be brilliant at starting a one line, but you just read the green 6 feet wider than what it 6 inches, wider than what it actually was. It's never going to go in. You asked me about putting philosophies, and we always go back to the three main contributing factors in someone who's quite good at putting. They need to start the ball on line, they need to control speed, and they need to be able to read a green. If you knock one of those out, it knocks the other two out. And where a player can understand what two wrongs they can sometimes make to make a right, that's normally the hardest part. Getting introduce a process, stick to it, learn from it, and develop it.
Absolutely. And then you're talking about the banging there. I wondered if that was Scott in the launch monitor again, going after 200 mile an hour.
Yeah, he's some boy. Scott's. You go back to the education, back to the philosophies there. Scott's worked with me for 8-9 years. He came from an out-and-out playing background. He's done exactly the same, just in a different context. He spent a lot of time, effort, money in developing his own knowledge into an area of the game that's really important. From a club business point of view, us working together, we have a different ethos. We have a lot of players that come through this area. If someone asks me I want to hit it further, I might not be the guy for that. Come and see my colleague Scott. He's actually much better at this than me. If we're keeping a golfer playing golf and improving them and bringing them to Stirling and they eventually become a member, everyone's gaining, the player gets better, we can help them out. You can't be the best or the most knowledgeable in everything, can you? So Scott's been amazing at that. He's built a career on it now, and he's only 25 yards behind me too. That's the amazing thing. All that practice he's been doing.
Brilliant. Yeah.
He's 79, I think.
Yeah. He's 79, that's it. Yeah, so in addition to Stirling though, Kenny, recently you've taken a leap of faith and you got into the golf range business. So what's that journey been like for you?
Yeah, so my life is absolutely hectic for the last 4 months, probably a bit more than what you could keep up for a long term. But the opportunity kind of came up last summer, kind of caught wind of it, very early got into some discussions with the previous owners. I felt like it was, and you're from Lanarkshire, you said, aren't you, as well?
Yeah, I'm from Motherwell, yeah.
So it was a driving range golf centre that I used back in the day in practice there. And I felt from a business opportunity it was too good to kind of let me get by, if you like. So, got into that very quickly, round about kind of October 21st to be exact. We got the keys, my wife and I should say, my business partner now. And it's been a brilliant journey. Really interesting one because it's not a golf course, it's not a golf club, and it's about 40 miles away from Stirling, so no conflict of interest, no.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm getting dragged about a wee bit more than what I would like, but I'll still. My main job is still going to be Stirling Golf Club. It's been brilliant watching my wife come on board. Our team's now roughly about 20 odd people across both sites, and the diversity of the job roles between both is amazing. We're learning so much, and just the way people come into golf centres, come into golf clubs, how they differ. But it's a huge project. We pretty much from the day we got started, within 3-4 weeks, we'd installed top tracer technology into all 24 bays. These are, for those that don't know, a ball flight tracking system with gaming features, performance features, anything you can think of, pinpoint accuracy on ball data. It's attracting so many more people to that golf centre. We got that installed, got it up and running, got ourselves comfortable with the training, and we instantly, right after Christmas, we started on refurbing the full building.
That's awesome.
So the shop has all been done now. Huge shop, new technology, new operating systems, new slat wall carpets, desktops, windows, internal doors, external doors, shutters, everything. And probably the most challenging right now and probably exciting part there is we're in a cafe. So we've been knocking some walls down and just growing the facility. So for those that have been there before, there used to be a secondary shop, storage area. We've knocked down 3 or 4 walls and stretched this out 2 days
That's
ago.
great. That'll give it a really nice feel as well, Kenny, and I guess make it a bit more family friendly perhaps than before as well.
So it's interesting you mentioned that word because we kind of changed 2 words in the title there to Strathclyde Park Family Golf Centre. We wanted it to be for the families, so very shortly we're going to launch junior and lady programs, coaching programs that bring the families to it. You know, the traditional male golfer. Yeah. They come in, great, and we can help you out, absolutely. But we wanted something to be there that could get everyone into it. My wife doesn't play golf. She's now out hitting balls on the range and wanting her first set of clubs. And my kids, who roughly play a wee bit, the 2 of them are wanting to come down. They're actually asking to come to work now with us.
That's
and
awesome.
Hit balls and play.
Brilliant.
So we're probably a great example of that. Hopefully I get to play a wee bit more, but I've not been on a golf course for nearly 4 months. But
always the joy of being a golf pro, Kenny, when you're teaching and working, you never get to actually play.
Yeah, but that's why the cafe's there. It's a place then that people can sit and enjoy time there.
Yeah.
My wife's been incredible in designing that, and now we're in the stage of actually getting all the kind of fancy paneling up, the painting's done, the flooring's gone down today. It's really the fancy lighting. Just feels like a really nice, comfortable place to kind of hang about. That's exactly the vibe we wanted to try and create. So, why don't you get you down? Give us a few more weeks, maybe back into April, May. We've got that all open and operating.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and then in terms of the future, Kenny, where do you see more expansion of people who I guess are involved with golf and they see themselves as golfers, but they don't necessarily have golf memberships? Do you think that's going to continue to expand?
All day long. Watching these top dressers, a huge one, and a huge supporter of ours there. They actually invited my wife and I to Stockholm. You see a lot of really clever guys and girls that are sitting there looking at technology, how it's come into the game, how it influences maybe different types of golfers into the game. Top Golf will be seeing this. It's an introduction to same technology. But we see at the centre there's a huge range of people that's come in. We give clubs to people, for example, there free just to come in and use them because they're saying, I hear you've got this gaming thing, can you show us?
Yeah.
But we also see the serious golfer getting consumed in the data that they can get if they want it, it's there. So yeah, I think being a club pro and knowing somewhat a bit about club business, memberships are falling again back to pre-COVID times. I think the job maybe of a golf centre and growing the game, golf professionals and growing the game is attracting at the grassroots level and the entry level, top tracer, technology, these kind of things. They're breaking down all those barriers and bringing people in. It's now up to us as golf pros, I suppose, to keep them in and show them that there's golf clubs out there that are willing to bring people in. I think the golf clubs need to do something about it. I think they need to get on board with that and maybe look at how they operate, let's say, to keep golf clubs going.
Yeah, and I think it's a really exciting development for the area, Kenny, being from that part of the world and knowing that trying to get to a driving range hasn't necessarily been that easy at times. I think it's a brilliant facility. It's a great location, and it's awesome to hear that you've taken it over and it's got so many plans going forward. It's great.
We felt the same thing about it. As I say, I used to go there when I was a kid, and a lot of it's like one of those iconics, maybe a strong word, but everybody knows where it is in Lanarkshire.
Yeah,
totally.
totally.
And further afield, Lanarkshire's
Yep.
a big place. Even a lot of non-golfers. So then trying to maybe look at it in a way of how it's not just a golf range. Because as soon as someone says, I don't play golf, well, I don't even go there. There's a children's play park out the front. There's the cafe that's coming here. We're on the edge of Strathclyde Park itself. Loads of dog walkers, loads of walkers, runners. We got David Lloyd Gym beside us.
Mausoleum.
Using it, but Mausoleum, vice versa. There's loads of it. It's just a really busy area. There's a 9-hole golf course. It's not really anything to do with us. It's a Queenswell Run municipal facility, but someone came in and hit some balls, had a cup of coffee, and then, you know what, go and play 9 holes. There's a facility there to do it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's really good.
Did I get enough of a plug in there about Strathclyde Park Family Golf Centre, do you think?
We can keep going, no problem. It's a place I spent a lot of time when I was a kid as well, Kenny, just being where I'm from. And I was thinking about this before speaking to you. The first golf course I played, I would say properly, with a scorecard and stuff in my hand and keeping score, was Lark Hall. I went there with some of my pals. And then after that, it was Hamilton, so the Strathclyde Park golf course. So I'd walked down past the range and gone to the course when I was a kid. And it was just, I've got some of my best memories still. I had my first ever birthday on that 9-hole golf course. I think in the 4th hole with a big dip. Just loved it. Some great memories from there.
Yeah, brilliant place. I've never actually played the course yet. Maybe in the summertime I'll get out there. But as I said earlier, there I can't go on any golf course just now. I'm 25 hours a day, 9 days a week just now. So that'll improve though. That'll improve.
Brilliant. So speaking of time, let's get into a rapid fire then, Kenny. So go with favourite golf course you've ever played.
Muirfield.
Okay. Great place. Never been in terms of playing it. Been there, but never played it. Dream 4-ball. Who's your 3 to go on a 4-ball with?
It would definitely be the golfers. Tiger, Jack Nicklaus, Seve, these kind of guys. Definitely golfers.
And then last one, best piece of golf advice you've ever received?
Give up. That was probably Alan McCloskey. You're never going to make it. Best bit of golf advice. Well, I kind of briefly mentioned one earlier about Kevin Staywood. It's just, when you say golf advice, professional golf advice, I built my career and a business for myself. Do you mean technically?
Just could be anything. Could be business. Could be technical. It could be anything.
Probably that. But it's just something that's always resonated. If I could pass a bit of advice on, it would be go learn more as a golfer, PGA professional. Just keep learning. Don't stop. Pick the phone up, phone someone, ask them the question. I think most guys that keep learning always want to share as well. So that would probably be it. Share, learn, keep developing.
Fantastic. And then just wrapping up here, Kenny, thanks so much for your time. It's been great to have you on, and awesome journey going through all the places you've been, and it's a fantastic story about Stirling. I think that's brilliant what you've done there in terms of development along with the club. So for people to get in touch with you if they're interested in lessons or you're learning more about Stirling Golf Club and getting in contact, where can they find you?
Yeah, so they can find us stirlinggolf.com, kennymonaghangolf.co.uk, strathclyde.familygolfcentre.co.uk. You can get in touch with me. I am still doing a bit of coaching across both facilities. More, 90% of that is at Stirling. That would be my kind of home place. I would love to bring the facilities we've got here are incredible if they're looking for coaching, but probably one of the best parkland golf courses in Scotland as well. So a great place for people to come and visit. That's part of my job as well. So hopefully there's some golfers out there need some help. If I can't do it, I'll set them in the right direction for someone who can.
Brilliant. Listen, thanks, Kenny. It's been really great to have you on. I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you.
No, brilliant. Appreciate it. Thank you for the invite, and I hope I didn't send anyone off to sleep there on your podcast.
Not at all, no, it was fantastic. Thanks so much. Cheers, Kenny.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Link by Golf. A huge thanks to Kenny Monaghan for sharing his journey, insights and passion for the game. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it with your friends and please do leave a review. It really helps the show reach more listeners. Thanks for tuning in. I'll have another episode out soon. Bye bye.